Hello everyone, as this video title indicates, I want to talk about a few Cait Vi moments that I haven't really seen touched upon in other videos about their chemistry in the show, and trust me, I've watched too many. If you're here, I'm guessing that you have some sort of Arcane brain rot too, and I'm super curious to hear what you guys think about these now that I'm hurling them into the void of YouTube, so let's get right into it. I'm going to try my best to go in chronological order, and this is the only exception to that since it's about the juxtaposition of two different events. But it starts after Vi's first post-imprisonment encounter with Sevica and Caitlyn shooting her shoulder/shimmer canister in order to protect Vi. After years of being alone in prison, Vi's not used to other people fighting with her, let alone fighting for her, so she fails to thank Caitlyn, and Caitlyn points that out immediately.
Do you ever say thank you?
Fast forward to their goodbye on the bridge, and the first thing that Vi says to Caitlyn is,
"It's been real, Cupcake. Thanks for everything."
"Oh, that is so precious." In this short amount of time, Vi has gone from not knowing how to say thank you to this extremely vulnerable moment. That pause in between thanks and for everything is the perfect nuance that expresses her utmost sincerity. She really is thankful for everything, not just the fighting alongside her and defending her, but for releasing her from Stillwater, following her into the Undercity even when she was distancing herself from Caitlyn, seeing the goodness in her heart and learning about her home, her story, and her life with deeper intimacy and compassion. Vi is learning to be grateful for others after being so mistreated, and it's just really heartwarming to view these two clips side by side. The next clip is an action one, and one that I think has gone severely unnoticed. It's when Silco shows up in the Shimmer addict-filled trenches to find Vi and the quote enforcer she's with, and the two of them manage to escape. This is right after a lot of people's favorite Violyn scene, which, not gonna lie, I love too, but it's important to note that this is their first time working together since that intimate moment was shared. Vi and Cait both had different ways of, quote, crossing the line, see what I did there, in order to show that they're drawn to each other a bit more than just friends would be. In Vi's case, it was at the brothel in the form of some intense flirtation, and for Caitlyn, it was giving up her rifle to purchase the potion that would cure Vi, then holding her face intimately as she tried to calm her down. Vi was the first one to do it, and now that Caitlyn reciprocated, their dynamic has shifted, and you can see it in this action scene. At this point, I think it's safe to assume that Vi doesn't know that Caitlyn gave up her rifle. I mean, I don't think Caitlyn would tell her anyway. So it could have come off weird to Vi that Caitlyn resorted to shoving herself against the unstable beams of the hideout they were in, when she could have just taken a shot at the Shimmer-enhanced predators or even at Silco. But she doesn't question Caitlyn's actions and trusts that she knows what she's doing. And at some unwritten point, Vi catches on to what Caitlyn's doing, and for the first time ever, she works with and joins Caitlyn to achieve the same goal. In this case, it's to bring the hideout and sign toppling down and escape. Her punch looks like she's about to do what she usually does, stick around and fight. But she chooses Caitlyn's plan, turns around, and surprises everyone, including Caitlyn, by punching the beam. Before this, their dynamic was Vi being strategically reckless and Caitlyn having to follow along. Now they're working together to move on to the next step, and they're finally on the same page of what the next step is. Vi is no longer using her home field advantage by just calling the shots and expecting Caitlyn to go along with them, but she's taking Caitlyn along with her. And how can we see that? As the hideout and sign crumble, Vi grabs Caitlyn when she usually would have just gone ahead of her. Their dynamic changes because their trust in each other changes. And their trust changed because Caitlyn reciprocated Vi's advances in an intimate and sacrificial way. That kind of love changes people. The next scene is another one about turning points and dynamic shifts. This clip, compared to others in this video, has been talked about a bit more, but I really wanted to analyze it in terms of its after effects. It's this scene where you can basically see Vi fall in love with Caitlyn before your eyes. It's like the Simpsons quote, but the opposite. I won't go too deep into what Caitlyn is saying that makes Vi realize how bad she has it for Cait, but it has a lot to do with the fact that despite being so different from each other, their lives and ideologies have arrived at the same place. Vi sees the humanity in someone who she spent her whole life typecasting and hating, since Cait is both a Pilty and an enforcer. The realizations of this humanity plus the exceptional feelings she has for this specific human are a huge game changer for Vi. It changes the way she's willing to approach peace, but the easiest way to see this change in Vi is simply the way she looks at Caitlyn after this scene. It's literally only soft eyes after this. Alright, last scene, or more like specific line from a scene that is super talked about, the Rain breakup. I wanted to focus specifically on what Caitlyn says right here.
You're just saying that.
I wanted to add on to what therapist Georgia Dow said about Vi and Caitlyn's attachment types in her amazing videos about them by specifically focusing on this quote. In her video, Dow talks about how of the 3 attachment types of stable, anxious, and avoidant, Vi is the avoidant attachment type, which essentially means that when there's an issue in the relationship, her first instinct is to push away. That's why she needed to give herself space when she found out that Powder set off the monkey bomb, and why she's walking out of the council's chamber and telling Caitlyn that they'll never work. Also, according to Dow, Caitlyn shows tendencies of being the stable attachment type, which, in this scene, means that she's willing to respect Vi's decision to distance herself and not perceive it as hatred or abandonment. So that one line, "you're just saying that," is oh so important in light of these attachment types. We already know that Caitlyn has the ability to see through Vi's walls and facades. From the beginning leg of their journey, she saw that Vi had a good heart, and now she sees and recognizes this wall too. Vi is saying all of these hurtful things that deep down she doesn't believe, so that she can distance herself from Caitlyn. And Caitlyn's responses are there not to antagonize her, but to ground her. What About Us is an attempt for Vi to be reminded of her very deep feelings for Caitlyn, the strongest evidence that Topside and Undercity can and have come together. But You're Just Saying That is a hammer that directly acknowledges the walls that Vi is putting up, and it has a different effect on Vi. It almost causes her to break. But Vi, being strong and stubborn in her ways, needs to walk away. But after that, her words are more gentle. Her gentler tone shows that she's a bit more calmed down and grounded, and she's sad about what she's doing. But she just has to follow through because there's still a part of her that believes that this is better for Caitlyn. And that's all I got for underrated Cait Vi moments. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. It's my first time making a video like this, but I just love this show so much, and I didn't have enough people in my everyday life to talk about it with. So more than a like or a subscribe, I'd really appreciate your comments and thoughts. So thanks for taking the time to watch, and have a wonderful day. Okay, last thing, I just really love these cute knee pads too, and I think they don't get enough recognition. Okay, bye.